So this was one of the first ideas I had for a video, and I'm kind of bummed out because this project did not turn out exactly how I thought it would, but I spent time on it and it's finished, so figured I would share it with you and just chalk it up to experience and practice with editing. So one of the things that I have been looking at a lot on Instagram are these adorable accounts for Japanese bunnies. They always look so well put together and aesthetically pleasing. They are always looking like a Renaissance painting, a Valentine's Day card. They're so cute, and I wanted to experience that as well and make my bunnies that cute. So I thought I would make a DIY heart bed for the rabbits and film them looking cute around this bed. I just didn't anticipate that none of my thoughts and plans would go to plan. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you what it was like to make this pillow, and then maybe spend a few minutes at the end showing you how cute the bunnies look with it, because that's what's important in the end really anyway. So let's go. All right, who's ready to look at some trim? Obviously not me, because the camera would not focus. Here is the thread that I used in the color red. And this is half a yard of snuggle fabric. You can find it near the baby fabric section in the fabric store. And that is half a yard of red felt. And I believe that's a 1/4 yard of interfacing. I wanted to use that to give the pillow some stability. The first thing I did was take way too long to draw out my heart shape. So I'm just cutting out some brown paper here so that I can draw that out. As far as the measurements for the pillow, I did want to make it big enough for both of my rabbits to sit on if they ever do sit on it. So I think I measured out a 20-inch heart, and then just did my best to make the shape consistent, the best that I could. I wanted to go with something a little bit wider, again, to fit both rabbits. Then I got to the part where I needed to do the curvy sides of the heart, and it just so happened that a dinner plate seemed to do the trick, so I went ahead and traced around the dinner plate. And then I messed around with the shape until I got the heart shape that I wanted and got ready to cut it out. While I'm cutting out my heart template, I will just mention that this shirt was a gift from my beautiful mother. I will do my best to find it and link it down below if you'd like to purchase one as well. It says World's Best Rabbit Mom, which, if I do say so myself, I am. Now we are laying out the first round of fabric, and I'm just doing this so that I can cut the initial square to the right size, so I'm not using a huge piece of fabric when I'm putting on the interfacing. So after I've cut out both squares of my fabric, the front and the back, I am just making sure I have the right size interfacing to cover each square. So this part was pretty interesting. You want to lay your interfacing on top of the wrong side of each fabric. Then you're going to take a wet towel or a damp towel and lay it over the top of everything. and then iron it until it sticks together. This took me a lot longer than I thought it would, so don't get discouraged if it's not working, just let it sit for longer. The reason I chose to interface both sides of the fabric I'm using to make the pillow was the fabric was actually a little bit thin, and I wanted to give it more stability when I was finished for my destructive rabbits. Now I am going to take the template that we made and draw out on top of the interfaced fabric, both types of fabric, the shape of the heart. Cut out both hearts, and you should have both pieces that you need for the front and back of your pillow. Now I am going around and having the trim facing right side forward. I am going to pin the trim all around the back of the pillow. This is where things started to kind of get difficult and go wrong for me, so just do your best to fit the trim in the best way that you can, and if you have any issues, well, it's a pet pillow, so don't get too stressed about it. And then I went ahead and started sewing, only to realize that I had done it wrong and needed to spend the next 15 minutes pulling everything out with the seam ripper. But I wanted to include this part because not every sewing project is perfect. Actually, no sewing project is perfect, and usually you'll have to start ripping something out before you're finished. And back to what we're doing, you're just going to sew all the way around and sew that trim to the back of your pillow piece. I found this way easier so that you're not stuck trying to do the trim and the final sewing two sides together all at once. That would be pretty arduous, so I would suggest doing it this way. Now trim off any excess trim and put your two pillow pieces facing together and pin all the way around. I did clip around the curves on the trim just to make it easier when it was time to turn out the pillow. Oh my goodness, nobody told me my quarantine hair looked like this. I wanted to add it in because, guys, are you kidding me? My hair is so gross right now. My partner never says anything about it. How could he not say anything about it? Now I'm going ahead and taking all the pins out and turning out the pillow. Ugh, my hair. Well, you know, it looks like a heart, so at least there's that. For the final step of sewing the pillow, I decided I wanted to give it a tufted look, so I went ahead and cut out the shape of a smaller heart and then sewed that shape into the middle of the pillow by using that smaller heart as a guide. This also came out wonky. I tried my best to follow the guide perfectly, but in the end the tufting started to come out a little bit, but just trust the process, and when it's finished I'm sure it'll still look nice. And here is more of that crystal clear footage that I'm obviously known for. Look at that focus. Alright, everything is sewed in and on, and I'm going to give it a quick press because that makes everything look better. And here we go, we're going to stuff our pillow. To stuff the pillow, we're just using some polyfill Crafter's Choice. And I won't bore you with this part, we're just going to stuff the entire pillow. Final step is to sew up the seam, and we will finally be done with this project. I did like the way that it came out in general. I think it looks cute. I probably would change everything about how I made it for next time, but to be honest, this is probably the last time I'll sew a heart-shaped pet bed for myself. But if you want to try it, that's cool. That's totally your prerogative. And there it is, it's done, wow! So now that you have seen what it was like to make this masterpiece, let's go ahead and get to why everyone surely came here, and that is to see my bunnies playing with this cute little pillow. And I will see you next time.